Here we go, man. About to hop into it. You know the deal. Let's hone in.
Just bring it in. MIC podcast episode 150. Now, where was a master about their own creation? Our guest
Day, super dope. She is a cosmetic artist, a burlesque sensation, if I say so myself. And you can also find her behind the bar at Rutgers Pub holding it down from time to time as well. We got Jingles in the Bengals. What's up? What's going on?
I'm just excited to be here. Like
Excited
I
to have
said
you,
earlier, I'm excited to see what you found out about me.
Yeah. Well, you know, again, those
there's
warrants have caught up to you. You've been evading those for a while. Nah, man, it's just I think this is like a super long time coming. We should have been done this, but it's definitely good that it's happening now.
Yeah,
100%.
Just want to hop into it. You're originally from
North Carolina, right?
that is correct.
Oh my goodness! I just want you to give us
the lowdown of what was it
like growing up in Carolina. Just what was childhood like for you?
I mean, technically, I moved to North Carolina when I was like 4.
Okay.
But
From
Connecticut.
Okay, Connecticut. All right.
I just like kind of forget about it honestly because
I think that I probably forgets about Connecticut a little.
Shout out to Connecticut, man. No
But that's
disrespect.
the thing. Like, I don't remember anything about it, so I don't really mention it unless it's like
You have to.
yeah
Yeah.
or anything.
Right.
But we moved to Greensboro,
Oh yeah, okay, Greensboro NC, okay.
and I call it Greens boring for a good reason.
Yeah.
It was all right growing up, but it was definitely like one of those places where I definitely had to leave.
Yeah.
And all my family still lives there, like scattered across the state, but and it's for them, but it's not their weird black sheep daughter.
Yeah, right. I was gonna say, like, was it just the environment
Just super closed-minded, super Christian conservative vibes, or
Well, yeah. I mean, the public high school that I went to in 9th and 10th grade, I had my first girlfriend when I was in 10th grade. And at the time, it was just like, nobody was talking about that shit.
Yeah.
Like, no one.
Facts.
I mean, I didn't
Unless
even,
you watch Degrassi on like a,
For me, it was Chasing Amy.
Yeah.
That's a
That
deeper
movie
cut, yeah.
changed my fucking life.
It's a deeper cut, yeah.
But yeah, and then it was like this whole thing went down with my English teacher, and she was failing me on purpose.
Oh, what? Because you had a girlfriend?
Uh-huh.
Damn.
And that's the thing, like, no, nobody ever said that, but like nothing else.
But
made
it's
sense.
like you feel
because
I
a
gotta
lot
go,
of people in the school knew,
Right.
like, a lot of my old like girlfriends, friends,
Yeah, right.
didn't want to be my friend anymore. Or like freaked out.
Damn.
But it was also a very different time.
Yeah,
and it was North Carolina.
yeah,
like
Right, yeah.
the school was
I'm saying like on fall. Yeah. It's like, considering the time, locations, that's it just what it was at the time, But that's
it's just kind of wild to even hear that your teacher was failing you for none other than the fact that she just
didn't like what you're doing in your life. Like that's kind of fucked up.
super yucky. Shout out to Miss Merriman.
you miss she's still teaching.
I don't, I got drunk like a year ago and I was telling this story at Rutgers from the other side of the bar. And I was like, I can find her on Facebook.
I was about to say.
I did.
Is she still actively teaching?
I don't think so.
Okay, yeah, I was about to say.
She looked.
You can't just be terrorizing their couples as a teacher like that. Like, refer to what's going
No,
on.
and luckily, like, the girl I was dating, she didn't get any backlash from anyone, but, even though, like, I proved that she was doing this, like, 3 out of 4 semesters, they were like, you think it probably better if you just went to another school, like an alternative school, instead of firing her.
Damn. That's crazy. That's crazy.
So, at the time in 10th grade, I was like, I was so upset.
I mean, of course.
I was so young.
Yeah.
But it ended up super working out because I ended up going to like this alternative small school on a college campus.
It's just like you had to leave like that. That's so wild and dark.
I know. Like, well,
Yeah, that's
Crazy.
but it was so great.
Yeah.
It was so great. We called it the land of the misfit toys.
yeah, type. Okay, yeah, right.
And like the girl that I was dating ended up coming there too, and a bunch of my other friends. And
Did she not go down with you initially? What happened with that? Yo, what?
She was cool.
Oh wait,
And I mean,
why?
that's good. I mean, I'm glad that none of her teachers decided to target
Type
her.
vibes, but like she wasn't like riding with you.
Like, if
We weren't in the same class. We weren't in the same class.
Nah, man, I don't know about you. You gotta rock with that, yo. She's going, I'm going. Like, you can't just kick her out this small. I'm not going.
Well, she ended up leaving on her own, on her own.
No, yeah, that's true.
Because she was like, fuck this backwoods goddamn public school across the street from a cow pasture. And like, God, that must have been like 2004,
Yeah,
2003,
yeah.
something like that.
It's crazy that people were born during that year, huh? Yeah, it's like, oh shit.
It was
Kind of crazy, man.
It's not that shit isn't rough right now, but
Yeah, right.
it was definitely a different
Yeah, it's
time,
definitely
for
a different
sure.
time. So you after that alternative school, and like, was it just kind of smooth sailing from there for you? Did you kind of find your people a little bit more? Or?
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was the best.
Word.
We were the worst.
Well, that's good though, you know.
We were a bunch of just like party
Yeah,
kids,
right.
trying to get
We're just trying to make sense of it
our
all.
diploma.
Yeah, right.
And we did. I mean, we did it.
Hey, they can never take it away from you.
What's like after that? So like, when did you make the jump to Pittsburgh?
Oh man. So that was in 2013.
Okay.
Yeah, August 2013.
What was life looking like for you, like when you made the jump?
Oh my God, it was the worst.
I remember you kind of going into it, yeah, one night at Rutgers, but yeah.
Yeah,
And you have to get two, you know.
It's okay.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not ashamed of this shit anymore.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't talk about it for a really long time, but now it's just like so far away from me that I feel like a completely different person anyway.
That's good.
And it's just like, I just basically got way too heavy into drugs.
Yeah.
And hit a point to where I was like, had that like movie moment and that moment of clarity where it's like, if I don't get out of here, I am going to die.
Word.
And like, facts, like I was not in a good place.
Yeah.
And I was really hoping that I would feel that way the next day waking up. And luckily I did. And it was just like one of those things where like, I can't plan this. Like, I'm just gonna get stuck. I know myself well enough, and so I was just like, "Where's the quickest move I could make?"
Mm-hmm.
And it just happened to be here.
How far is it
from North Carolina?
Like, just far
Yeah.
enough. Like 7 to 8 hours.
Okay. Yeah.
From
All right.
Greensboro.
That's further than I thought, but I mean,
10 hours for my parents, though.
Oh damn.
So that's. But I am glad they don't live there anymore, so I don't have to go back there anymore.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You just like decided to. I mean, like, was there anything like you necessarily? I mean, obviously, like, besides the obvious, family and all that stuff. But did you just decide one day to pack your bags and dip out, or was there more of like a process, with you leaving?
No, it was like my friend, my longtime friend, who also ended up going to that misfit school.
Yeah.
We've known each other since 9th grade. He moved here like 6 months before me, and he knew I was trying to get out. And he was like, "Well, I have a room in a basement with no windows that you could at least land in."
Yeah.
I was like, "Yeah." He's like, I was like, "Cool." And when I got here 2 weeks later, I got rid of shit. I tied up loose ends, and then I applied to beauty school and became a cosmetologist when I got in my first year.
Hell yeah. That's. I mean, you kind of have.
I was like, I have to do something.
Yeah.
Kind of enter the city on like the same vibe as far as like just packing everything you think
that like you value, and you're just like, I took a Greyhound here,
And just I booked the Airbnb, took a Greyhound to this bitch, and was like, all right,
Let's
Right? Where from?
Westford on Maryland.
Okay.
Yeah. That's where I'm originally from. So I mean, that bus ride was like, I'm again considering that it stops with the Greyhound, it took like probably 6 hours.
You know, it's like what the hospital, like it's only like 3.5, 4 hours away, you know, it's really driving. So, and I flew on the point where it was like, it was just far enough because, again, it only being like, 4 and some change,
Hours from Maryland. I was like, yo, if shit don't work out, I can at least just
Yeah.
made that fucking, 4 to 6 hour bus or drive back. It's not,
the worst thing in the world. Like 10's like a little bit, definitely a little bit further, but at the same time, it's like you could.
also just kind of could that like a day or two if he.
It's true. That's what I needed. I need like to be just far.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I completely get you. So, like, what were some of your creative outlets just like early in my part into cosmetology?
God. It's like early in life. Well,
It seems like as like deep infinite memories,
yeah. I used to dance when I was like for like 8 years, starting when I was like 4.
What type of discipline can you use?
Just like tap, jazz, ballet.
Oh, okay. So 3.
Yeah,
That's a lot.
My great aunt had a dance school.
Okay, that's dope.
So it
Nice.
was kind of, my sister did it too. So it was a lot of fun. But that's suddenly where it started. But yeah, I've like been on stage since I was 4.
That's crazy.
It's just who I am.
Yeah.
So that was like my earliest thing, and I got really into like my voice and singing in high school and beyond. Eventually took up the ukulele.
Yeah.
It's the only instrument I've been able to pick up that I can do a damn thing with.
What drew you to the ukulele?
Because it was easier to play.
Yeah.
Yeah. I tried learning the guitar when I was like 10. No.
My dad fake got me a guitar too when I was like 10, 11 years
Yeah.
old. Did not, I mean, I don't know. And I
really
get what he was
tried.
doing, so he was just like, I don't know, man. Like, you don't like sports, try this shit out, man. Like, feed this family somehow, my nigga. Like,
something.
yeah, and like, I don't know, man. I was just like,
Your wife?
I mean,
I know. Good if he's like,
a lot of people's life.
he's like,
I
man,
can
this
get
maybe
very
hit up like something for you, but I'm just like, yo, man, like, I'm sorry. Like, this is not the way it's gonna go. Like,
That's the point, dude.
yeah, like you, without raising job, man, I apologize, man. Like,
You never know.
Yeah.
Try, but
facts.
I mean, maybe he should have just gotten you like a tambourine.
Yeah, or like a triangle or some shit, like I would have maybe graduated.
Bitch, I love a triangle though.
Yeah, yeah.
Can I say that?
Yeah.
Like, when the time is right.
Yeah, right. A well-timed triangle.
I did this show in Philly straight up like a year and a half ago.
Yeah, that's Snuggles and Jingles, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I was like, it just somehow ended up being like the biggest show of my life.
Mm-hmm.
Whole thing.
Yeah.
But I was playing a fucking triangle.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
how did you like? I mean, just since we're even on the topic, like with Snuggles and Jingles, how did that come about? How did you meet Snuggles? Like, how long ago to perform together?
So like when I moved here in 2013, we both lived in Lawrenceville. We lived like a few blocks from each other. And it's just like the neighborhood. Gays meeting gays. Basically,
Yeah,
the
right.
gay connection. And so, yeah, I've known him like almost the entire time that I've been here. And he's done his own thing and his own music, like a lot. And he's really talented and just like the most lovely fucking human.
Yeah.
He's such a sweetheart. And yeah, I don't know. Like we would just sometimes like we would meet up after work at usually his house and his kitchen, and we would just like drink beers.
And so with chance, we were like y'all we're just kind of running out the same area and getting like on each other.
I think we met. Oh my God, it was so random. I'm almost positive that we met at this like gay games night.
Okay.
Like my old friend Tristan took me with him.
Okay.
And it was like
You just kinda
people he
bumped
knew.
into, yeah, type of.
And I'm pretty sure we met there.
Yeah, okay. Well, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dope. So when y'all decide to start, performing together?
Shortly after that, honestly.
Really?
Like I said, we would just like jam and drink beers in his kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
And we just really vibe. Just really nice. That's really rare for me.
Yeah.
Like, I grew up around so many fucking musicians in Greensboro that I feel like none of them ever really took me seriously, which is fine. Like, fucking whatever.
Why do you think that? Or like,
I don't know. I really don't. Like, I wish I had an answer because it really bugged me sometimes.
yeah.
But it's what it is.
Yeah, right.
And so it was just nice to be able to like find someone who I vibed with like that, and we took each other seriously. And it was just, I mean, it's just always been like fun. God, nothing serious, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Like jokes.
Yeah.
Jokes for days. Like, we are not doing serious work.
Yeah, right.
We're doing things to make people laugh and smile.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
But like, when did
Y'all decide to, it's like even take that on stage in front of people?
Probably like, so I used to be involved with a long running burlesque show in the city. The Steel City Kitty Show.
Okay, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I don't know,
saw
like
a little bit about that.
somewhere along there, the person who ran the show, she was like, friends with both of us, and she was like, hey, you guys should like totally do something in the show together, because like I would do a lot of stuff by myself sometimes with like ukulele. Like I do like one burlesque act and like one ukulele act throughout the show. So she encouraged that, and then yeah, it's just, I mean, because really it was just like something we did like for each other, like for fun. But yeah.
What's y'all's like creative process like, when you guys like how
come up with some of the songs you perform?
I mean, honestly, like we haven't even written that much together. But we did like both decide to write a song about one of our best friends. My friend who I moved here because of.
Okay.
Basically like writing this song about like you have this friend and you can't ever reach them.
Was that the song that y'all performed in Philly?
That was one of them, yeah.
I got you.
Chasing McQueen.
Yeah.
And it was like where we wrote that song so fast.
Yeah.
Because we both know him so well.
Yeah.
And it was just like, we were just busting out laughing. And like, we surprised him with it in Philly on stage. Like, so pleased.
That's what he is.
Cause like, no, I mean, I was
Catching the lots of that earlier, just in my research, man. I was like, okay, Chasing McQueen, they got a out with this. Like, crowd was loving it too. Like, they were fucking dying laughing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a good time. I was like so fucking nervous though.
Was that like the only time y'all performed together?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
No, just like out of town.
Okay, yeah. I was gonna say like have you performed anywhere else besides Pittsburgh?
Oh, I
Yeah. It's like as Jingles and Jingles, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, like
just Jingles.
Yeah.
Just like quite literally.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I know. Just Jingles again, burlesque sensation. Like like that title isn't just given, but just even like talking about you and Snuggles, like we all like besides the Philly performance, like did y'all end up doing anything else together? Like was that like the only major?
The only major thing we did, absolutely.
Yeah, right.
Like, and that shit was just like this crazy one-off that I was like, how is this happening?
Yeah. I mean, no, it was dope. I mean, like the people were definitely fucking with it. It was funny.
It was so wild
Yeah.
because the show was, I don't even know what like it yet, but the show was a Kimia Dawson show.
Okay.
And you either know who that is or you don't.
Yeah.
I grew up listening to her music that she did with a guy and a band called the Moldy Peaches. When I was in this like misfit high school, we were absolutely getting high as fuck and listening to this weird fucking band.
Yeah.
So yeah, a really big part of my upbringing, and that's who I ended up opening up a show for in a fucking church in Philly. Like, so many years later, I was just like, oh my God, it was so crazy and weird. And like, honestly, like, it all happened so quickly too that like sometimes I feel like it didn't happen.
Yeah, right.
And that it was just like a fever dream.
Yeah. You know, I mean, like, that's like how it can be with certain shit like that, you know, like, it's just like, once you get through it, it don't even seem like it was you that did the thing. You're like, I vaguely remember, oh wait,
I was the person that was into shit.
It's so fucking weird.
Yeah, right.
That's a lot of my life, so
Yeah.
I guess when I think about it, I'm like, damn.
Yeah. Are y'all like, do y'all plan on getting back together like anytime soon doing some shit or?
No, not really. Like, which is okay. He's definitely been like kicking some space for himself recently. Like, know anything.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like,
yeah,
You know,
right.
people do that sometimes.
100%, right.
And but you never know.
Yeah, right.
You know,
Facts.
we really enjoy like the process together, and we always just have so much fun and make each other just scream, laugh.
Mm-hmm. Do you make music solo?
No,
Okay.
Well, like my first song
Tell
that
us,
I've ever
Jingles.
written
Yeah, Jingles.
by myself in October.
Oh, this past October.
Mhm.
Okay, go. All right, there you go.
Again, I wrote it because Kimia Dawson was in town, and she had this show.
So she's in Pittsburgh.
Mm-hmm.
Really? Okay.
In October.
I'm not familiar with her, so like.
That's totally fair. I mean, like you either know that underground weird shit or you don't. You know, it's not the only like mainstream thing that she did is like a lot of her music ended up on the Juno soundtrack.
Oh, for real?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's the only mainstream.
After we watch Juno, see if I can catch a few of her joints.
It's like half the soundtrack.
That's crazy.
So.
Yeah, I guess she was speaking to that whole production for someone. It's like, you know, she got what we need for this movie.
Yeah, it's just her like wholesome sound.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, so I went to the show and I got to talk to her beforehand.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah, and she was just like, you know, I'm doing another gig here, but I have to go away and do another gig, and then I'm gonna come back next week. And she was like, you should totally play something. And I was just like, Jesus Christ, like, how the fuck am I supposed to say no to like one of my childhood or teenage years, like idols? Yeah, right. I was like, well, figure it out. So I'm like sitting there and oh God. I'm so weird. So earlier that day, I was at Rutgers doing some work, and we got in a food order, and we got this like fucking massive potato. Okay. And potato ended up being like a 7-pound potato.
What the fuck?
I can show you a picture later.
What the hell?
Everybody was like taking selfies with it next to their head. It was just like,
what?
It's crazy.
How do you find a 7-pound potato, yo? Like,
and here's the craziest part. So I Googled, because I was just like, curious.
Where's the 7-pound?
It fucking came in a food order.
Who births the 7-pound potato? Like,
I don't know. Something is happening.
Mrs. Potato Head right now. Does anyone know?
Mm-hmm. I have it still. That's what's so weird.
All right.
So everyone's totally like astounded by this fucking potato. I
What
Google
the
it.
fuck?
The biggest potato on record is only 11 pounds.
Damn, all
So
right.
this potato is really impressive.
It's punching up there. It's punching up there, yo. Like,
earlier that same day,
okay.
I go to the Kimia Dawson gig.
Find this big
I'm
ass
sitting
potato.
there,
Word.
and I'm like, you know, because she does this like, you know, weird music.
Yeah.
I was just like, ugh, I need to write a song about this potato, and I need to perform alongside of it.
Right.
So I text one of the cooks in the kitchen, Antone.
Oh, shout out to Antone, man. Yo,
shout out to Antone.
Antone be constructing my grilled chicken wrap to perfection with the tater tizzies on the side. I need that blue ranch and cheese.
Oh, that blue cheese and ranch?
every time, my man, I have to salute you, bro. You be holding that the fuck down. I know if he's back there, my shit's gonna be right, bro, for real. So shout out to you, man.
Yeah, absolutely. But to be fair, like everybody's doing a pretty damn good job in the kitchen.
100%. Yeah. No. 100%. I mean, again, I want to shout my man now because like you do, but again, the staff there, the food is always on point.
Yes.
Like it's never not on point.
Yeah,
you know?
absolutely.
So, yeah.
But so I texted him because I knew he was in the kitchen because I was there earlier today, and I was like, whatever you do, don't throw out that potato.
Okay, well, yeah.
And he texts me back and he goes, oh, Jingles. It's October, Halloween, so we carved him into jack-o'-lantern.
No.
And then we made he made this like video with it. And the sauce of the month was that it was like Halloween, so we had this like black color.
Yeah, I remember.
So we made this video of a potato, like black stuff coming out of his eyes.
Yeah.
And then he threw it away.
Damn.
I was like, but then.
Were you just distraught? You're like, son, like I need this potato. Y'all
well,
murdered.
I left the show.
Y'all
I met up with
this-
actually Momly and my friend Colleen. I got a little drunk.
Yeah.
And I went to Ruggers, and I started shouting in your phone. Like, I always actually count. God, I'm always shouting. But he was like, Jules, does it really mean that much to you? And I was like, I'm trying to write my first song ever.
Dawson's breathing down my fucking neck. So I give that fucking verses.
Bruh. And so he was like, do you really want me to get all the trash for you and clean it off? I was like, yes. So we did that.
Yeah, you made my son hands all clean.
Mm-hmm.
Damn,
hey, he
son.
offered. I didn't even ask.
Man, yeah, right.
I was just like freaking out.
Damn, son. I mean, you know, at least he was.
Again, shout out to hands up, bro.
I know he cares.
Shout out to him, man.
He
you
cares.
Know,
yeah. He's like, okay, just go do your weird bullshit.
We're sorry. It's whatever.
You know, people are supportive of that at Ruggers.
Yeah, no, I mean, no. If you,
you know.
They give rest to the weary, son. Like, you know, just the weary, and if you're going off the beaten path, shout out to Robbie.
That they got a seat for you, man.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, what ended up happening? Like, you got the potato back? And
well,
what happened?
Yes. So I got the potato back, and I fucking wrote my first song. It just, like, flew out of me, which is, like, crazy because I've never been able to do that.
That's how you know you're on to something, though. Like,
bro, again, creativity is just something that, like, we release. You know, like, it's never truly on.
You can't force it, though. It's just my spontaneity.
One of my favorite analogies from Pharrell is that, like, ideas are just like a library. Like, you're just
checking stuff out, like, seeing if it, like, new words, but, like, it's not necessarily, like, pulling from this greater thing. You know, like,
yeah. So to hear that your first song was just kind of flowing for you, I mean, there's something there.
I know.
You know, something that's clicking there.
And it was, like, one of those things that I wish I could have, like, kept the momentum of, but it just didn't happen. Then, so I wrote this song. BCW, the name of the song, and Pop Potato.
Okay.
And, but then, like, you know, I've got my little set list together. I'm, like, you know, anxious, but I'm going to make it work. And then, like, 2 days before, she had to cancel because her mom died.
Damn.
So it's like, you know, what do you say to that?
Yeah,
like, obviously,
right.
Please go be with your mom.
That's tough.
Big fucking deal.
Right, of course.
And I was like, well, that's a bummer, but, you know, at the same time, like, I wrote my first song, but nobody's heard it.
She performing at Ruggers one time.
I've considered it.
Yeah, you might as well.
I actually was going to, but shit just didn't work out in December. December was a shit show.
December. I mean, like, December's always hectic for real.
Just like that time of year.
As always, everyone is running around, flying, family visiting, doing this, doing that, holidays and shit, you know, parties and all that. So
yeah,
I don't know.
But, you know, long story short, I still have a potato in my freezer.
Okay, well, yeah, at this point, no, you gotta use it because Anton grabbed that shit off the fucking trap and it clean it.
When do I part with his potato? Yeah. I don't know. Because he's pretty big.
Yeah.
I don't have that big of a freezer.
I was a 9-pound baby. So, like, it's only under 2, you know, than my birth weight, you know. So I was
considered a big child. 9 pounds is no small feat. You know, that's
You know, I came through kicking.
Yeah.
At 9 pounds, so we'll see how long this goes.
Honestly.
Yeah, right.
Have to be that potato.
Word, yeah. Shout out to Boss, man. Was for real. No, but like performing at Rutgers, man. Like I hope to, or just really anywhere.
Yeah.
Just like find an open mic or something like that, and just say fuck it one night.
I don't mean to sound like a fucking, I'm not doing open mics anymore.
I feel you.
Mama done her time.
I feel you. No, and like that's 100% valid.
I sound like
No,
a dick.
no,
but,
not even. That's valid. That's
valid. Because like it does take it takes a lot to be open mics. Because like I've seen Mike do open mics out for years now at this point. I mean, but
like you're putting a lot of energy into a crowd that it's just give or take. Like you never know what kind of crowd you're gonna get. Like you never know if you're gonna and you're not
really doing open mics for it. But I understand that. You know what I mean? But like at the same time, it's like, how many times can I just keep shouting into that void? On open mics, like how many am I gonna do before I'm just like, like
I'm not.
Yeah, like
in
what's
no
going
way,
on?
Shape or form in that place in my life.
I feel you.
Mama's done some shit.
Maybe Rutgers might have to be the. We'll figure it out.
It'll happen eventually.
Yeah, right.
I mean, I'd like to do it before I toss that potato. Inevitably.
That's what I'm saying. Like before that shit starts stinking up the fridge.
He's been in the freezer since October.
Sucked spam, yeah. In the freezer, too, taking up dumb space. I know that 7-pound potatoes, they need big space.
Yeah.
Can't put shit in your freezer.
Me and my friend Alistair, we Mod Podged it a lot to try to
accommodate
because once he got cut into for the jack-o'-lantern, it was just a ticking time bomb to him rotting.
Right.
So I was trying to put him.
It was
anyway. He got put into the freezer in a bag.
Even though I fucking.
It still remembers this, and every now and again, I just tell Alex at Rutgers. I'm like, no, potatoes still in my freezer.
That's crazy.
Oh, I need to thought about that.
Give him that Captain America vibe.
I do want to hop back because you said like when you first came to Pittsburgh, you enrolled in a cosmetology school. Like, what inspired the decision to do that? And how was that experience for you? Like, how long did it take to get was it like a degree certification? Or?
Yeah. You have to get certified. You have like an X number of hours. I can't remember how many hours anymore. You have to complete in the school, and then you have to take the board exam.
Oh, there's a board.
Mm-hmm.
Oh shit! I was unaware of this.
So, yeah. So yeah.
Cosmetology board, like, is it just like Sephora, like employees?
Like what?
No.
Yeah, who's on the
cosmet? You have to go to like a testing facility.
Okay.
And sit in front of like a computer.
Damn.
Mm-hmm. You study for that shit.
Yeah, like
because they right before I graduated, they got rid of the exam, which made no fucking sense to me because it was the part of the exam where
can you do the thing?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I don't because the knowledge base is you obviously need that, but also at the same time it's like, can you do the fucking thing? Like, just can you
matters?
That you feel me? Like,
it's so stupid.
Yeah,
I got so mad because
I feel you.
Like notoriously a terrible written test.
Yeah, right.
And I was like, but I can show you that I can do this.
Right. And that's what I'm trying to do to make money.
Yeah,
so
right.
if I can do that, I should be good. Correct?
Right?
Yeah. Like, what the fuck?
But yeah, I don't know. I just went to cosmetology school basically because it was something I had been thinking about. Like, hair's always been such a big part of my own life and image.
Yeah, right.
That I was just like, I gotta stop doing drugs. I gotta fucking
let me focus
to this state, and I gotta make something happen with my life. So that's kind of just what happened. The beauty school itself, terrible.
Why?
I will tell you why. One thing that made it terrible. So I was 26 and 27
Hmm.
when I went to beauty school, and the entire school, almost the entire school, were like 18-year-old girls.
Oh.
And it's like I had somehow gotten into this time warp and gotten back to a public high school with only girls.
Yeah, right.
It was a fucking nightmare.
Yeah. Now, is that just like by nature of the trade, or is it like, was it only girls' school?
Well, nature of the trade.
Nature of the trade.
Granted, I think there was like 2,
Yeah.
maybe 3
Right.
guys in the whole school.
Right.
Like gay guys,
Right.
you know, is what it is.
Yeah, facts.
But-
You know, gotta call a spade a spade. Like,
Yeah,
yeah.
like, you know, whatever, you know. But oh wait, no, there was one straight guy, Jimmy. Anyway, I think I was just having fun.
How so you think he might have figured something out there?
Nah, I'm pretty sure he's still, because of like Instagram, like
Yeah.
every now and again I'll see one of his posts.
Yeah.
I haven't seen one in a long time, but I did see that he opened a salon somewhere and that he has like a wife and a kid.
Okay, all right. I was
I
gonna say
don't know,
he's washing
I
hair
think,
like,
I think at this
yo,
point,
so what did Brad do this time? Oh, that's terrible. Like,
he was very handsome though.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I bet he was.
Everyone was like,
I bet he
"Oh."
was in cosmetology school trying to
Yeah.
wash scalps for a living.
Damn, you make it sound so lowly.
No,
Wash
not
scalps
even
for a
that.
living.
Not even that. But he might have ulterior motives, man. I want to.
I wanted to see what you was actually mad at. No, but that I can see why you would feel that way, because I didn't know like the demo would be that young. You know, you just done it all the time.
Yes, people getting out of high school
Yeah, no.
and being like, boss, I'm going to go to college. I guess I'm going to go to beauty school.
Yeah.
Which it took me a longer time to get there. But
How long did it take you to get your certification?
it was like a little under a year.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
got you. So like once you got that, like were you pretty much just off to the races?
Yeah. Yeah. I did like a couple of things that like didn't super work out. And then like I basically just ended up managing the salon in Lawrenceville for like probably like 6 years until the start of the pandemic.
Or February, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense.
And at the time, Molly and I were living above the salon together.
Okay, right. Okay, that we. Well, at least you got that, dope roommate too.
I know we got really lucky. We did. We got really lucky in that situation, like in a lot of ways. It really worked out. I sometimes miss that apartment.
Yeah.
But really, I just miss the bathtub.
Yeah.
I had this like baby pink tub. It was huge with jacuzzi jets.
It was baby pink when you guys got the spot. You
Yes.
just lucked out. That's
with
kinda
jacuzzi
crazy.
jets.
Yeah.
It was fly.
That's I mean, I can imagine.
Honestly, in the last week I was there, though, I tried fitting a bunch of my naked girlfriends in the jacuzzi tub together after the bar.
Yeah.
We kind of like broke it. Like I go into work the next day and the ceiling is leaking.
No.
And I was like, oh no.
Damn.
Oh, I don't fucking say nothing. I was like, oh, how'd that happen? I'm not going to
Yo,
tell him. I
you-
was like,
You guys should fix it. Yo. Y'all should fix that.
it was a good time.
Yeah.
I have no regrets. You know?
Jingles is crazy, you said. Jingles is crazy, you said. Oh, I'm crying. So like when did you initially like start getting involved in just like the makeup art? Like have you like was that always like a piece of like the whole cosmetology thing, or when did you get involved in that?
Like I've always liked makeup as like a feminine person.
Because you did like you've made some beautiful fucking pieces, like some super dope shit.
Thank you.
Hell yeah.
I didn't start doing the like body paint stuff though until like probably like 2016, I think. And then I got heavily involved with it for a few years. Like I was basically using it as a means of art therapy.
Yeah.
Like I had a just mental break.
Yeah.
And I wasn't like sure at the time like what caused it, but I was just like kind of like resetting my entire brain and my habits. And like I I don't know, like a part of that process was finding that
Yeah.
and realizing that I was actually good at it.
Hell yeah.
And I was like, oh, this is crazy.
Was this before the pandemic or after?
Before, because it was like, yeah, like 2016.
Okay, yeah. I think that well before.
Yeah.
So like how, like, and so I think one, like, how do you even go about, I guess, just choosing what's a, I guess, paint or like display, like what goes into some of the pieces that you make?
So, I mean, honestly, like, I think like a lot of people just like scrolling the internet and seeing various art and being inspired by certain aspects of it, certain pieces of it. And then it's like, if you come up with this concept in your head, then it's like, sometimes it is just like paint and makeup, but then other times you need to like make objects
Yeah.
to make the makeup happen.
Mm-hmm.
Like I did a Snow White, the Evil Queen makeup, where the concept is that the mirror shattered and glass shards are on her face.
Oh shit.
So I had to make those shards happen.
Yeah.
And
What'd you use to make the shard? That's kind of crazy.
it's so stupid. Like I all I did was how was it, just like printer paper? I think it was. Like I cut out shapes of printer paper.
Okay, yeah.
And then I wrapped them in
like foil. Or something.
Yeah, foil.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
and then just had like a little backing, and then that backing will get glued on my face.
Yeah.
And then I just do the blood detail around them.
That's dope. Just to even like rig that up, like that's dope. I mean, like it just shows how resourceful you can be,
Yeah, it's a lot. It was a lot of fun, and sometimes like, I mean, a lot of the time I do wish I still did it, but I just like, again, like you can't force.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's just not there.
Yeah. I mean,
again,
you can't force it. Like doing it when it's not there will make you part of something. Like you'll probably go on unless especially like step it too much out of you, like
yeah.
So how else like
to do something like that?
Depending on what the project is, like I think the quickest thing I did was like an hour, but on average, like 3 to 5 hours.
Yeah. Because I was gonna say like
you can't just sit
out and decide.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna do the Snow White Evil Queen and be out in an hour.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
It is a planning process.
Right.
It has to be, no matter what you're doing, like whether you're making objects for it or not. It's just like, okay, I need this.
Yeah.
I have to do this. And I'm like, I have to have the whole day.
Yeah.
And and like what's funny about it is that like I spend so much time doing it, and then I try to get a photograph that's like acceptable to me.
Yeah.
Afterwards, like as quick as I can. Like okay, and then I just like take it off as quick as I can. You were like, that's so weird. Like, why don't you like try to enjoy it, or like go out sometimes?
Yeah,
I'm like, no, fuck that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
What's the guy? Yeah.
I mean, a lot of the things I painted are not things that would work on the outside. Nah, it's true though, because like if I'm doing things that are like my whole face and like my whole neck, and then there's the stopping point, looks fucking weird.
Yeah,
it does.
It's stopping point.
Yeah, in the paint, and then you're just
right?
like, and then you got your arms, and it's just like, oh, I look fucking weird.
Right.
Well, you know what I mean?
No. 100%. That's funny.
And I still want to like itch my face, you know?
That's mad funny though. I feel so. Like, do you just normally pull, I don't know, just like stuff from TV and movies to like paint? Like, what kind of inspires you in that realm? Like, is
sometimes.
it okay?
Yeah, sometimes, because I kept dying like a number of like character stuff, which is cool, and I do enjoy doing that. But then like a lot of times too, it's just like like abstract shit.
Right.
And like this one time I did another like blood reference that I did, but like where I cut out like an like from a printer, like an anatomical heart.
A 3D printer.
No, not like a regular printer.
Okay.
And I like did my face, like painted on the heart printout that I had gotten, and like put it on my face and painted it to connect the rest of it. And it's
Okay.
like this bleeding heart, like
Okay.
from my face. But it's also like a 3D aspect.
Yeah, right. I think I
Mhm.
may have seen what you're talking about. You know, like it's tough to be like, yeah, maybe like from what you described. If you've seen that shit, you know, you know if you've seen.
You know, you see some shit like that.
Yeah.
You know, but not like that's something that is so dope. Like just like even like high level cosplay, like I always like appreciate, and then that sort of has aspects of like the makeup, like cosmetic art type of vibes, like depending on what you're trying to portray. So
Stuff like you've done is like super just beautiful. I'm just like, yo, how you even
think to do that? Do you execute that shit? Like, is it true?
Like kind of cliche too, I guess, but like, a lot of people's like darkest times and moments, like the best art comes from that.
unfortunately that goes hand in hand with art.
Because it's just
People that are going through that need
a way to process that.
Yeah.
And art and just
Something positive.
Yeah.
Focus on zone out, on like shut down your brain to just focus.
Exactly.
Crazy deep focus.
So unfortunately it is an aspect of art, but again, that's also the beauty of it. Like
It's there, allows you to be able to
kind of navigate through those times. So shout out to our band as always. We'll always shout out art here.
I do want to talk about it again.
You're a sensation and an after sensation, a burlesque wonder. What did you that initially get involved in burlesque? Were you doing that in North Carolina? Okay. So yeah, when you initially started.
So
When I was like 19, 20, I started
to hang out with a very small group of performers who were doing burlesque shows in town. It was just like everything that I wanted to do, like singing, dancing, costuming, being on stage, and then you just get to be an adult by taking your clothes off.
Yes.
Basically. So, I was really pulled into it, and I started being like a stage kitten for these girls for a while. And that's how a lot of people get started, honestly.
Is that just like
you
kinda
pay
like
your debts?
helping out?
Yeah,
type
like a
of,
stage kitten is like setting up for whatever act is about to go on, whether
Okay.
they have props, and then also going to pick up the clothing
Okay.
when they're done. Because who the fuck is like picking up their own clothes after
Right.
they took them off? Like,
Yeah,
that ain't
right.
cute. That's what stage kittens are
Yeah,
for.
right.
So I did that for a while, and then it just kind of happened from there.
Okay.
And I joined this burlesque troupe called Burlesque,
Okay.
triple R. And I did that in North Carolina, I guess for like 2 years, I'd say,
Yeah.
before I moved. So,
It's kind of like, did you find that were you surprised that there were pockets of that or pockets of those communities in North Carolina? Just like, were you surprised to just stumble upon something like that?
yes and no.
Because it's like everywhere, right?
It is, yeah, totally. And like back then, it was obviously different, and it wasn't as popular. But it was still in like a decent number of places, and like like I'm gonna say like the bigger cities in North Carolina, but like kind of.
Yeah.
And so and we would like travel to each other and do shows together, and like North Carolina and South Carolina, West Virginia sometimes.
Oh shit.
Ugh.
Shout out to West Virginia, man.
No shout out to West Virginia ever. Nice mountains. That's it.
That's funny as hell. Yeah, I think all you can do is drive through West Virginia, right? Yeah, you can't really do much else.
Oh my God, I can't think about it.
Oh,
It's like
son.
PTSD,
Oh,
West
shit.
Virginia.
You never know what you'll find. Or actually, you might know what you'll find.
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, right?
I'm so good. I'm good for life.
Oh, that was funny as hell.
But yeah,
Did you live in West Virginia at one point, or?
kinda.
Yeah.
So well, to be fair, I wouldn't say like lived. Like I was there for a couple of months.
Okay.
When I was like 23.
Okay.
And I followed a stupid boy
There you go.
up there
Yeah.
to Snowshoe, West Virginia, where there's like the ski resort.
Snowshoe is called.
Snowshoe.
Okay, word.
And that's where things got real dark.
Yeah.
And that's where my drug addiction started.
Wow. Yeah.
Was with that guy.
Yeah.
Anyway,
In West Virginia, yeah, that sounds.
yeah, right.
Yeah. That is. Dictionary definition, right?
Jesus Christ! Like, what else are people doing there? Seriously.
Funny as hell.
Hiking and drugs.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was there for like a couple of months with
Yeah,
him,
little stint.
and I bartended up there for a little bit, but it was
An
shit.
experience. Yeah. That's crazy.
It was shit.
Yeah.
He warned me too, like
So he was even like,
he
yo, if
did.
He was like, he was like, you're too pretty for this mountain, and everyone's gonna be hitting on you. And I'm like, it can't be that bad, and it wasn't.
You're right. Yeah, I mean, he did try to say, he's like, listen, man, you're too beautiful for this violence. Yeah. Don't fly like an idiot.
And I'm like,
You should even told me that.
I know.
Yeah, right. Because I would probably be on the fence prior to that. But since you told me that, I'm fucking. Now I'm gonna see what this man was talking about.
Stupid.
Yeah, you know it.
Trash.
Isn't that? I mean, what you about?
Oh, right? Exactly. I mean, whatever.
Yeah.
We all make mistakes.
Yeah, I get you got out. That's
Yeah. Honestly, like, you know what happened to that dude? Like, we dated for like 2 years, probably.
He was a part of the mountain. He just kind of melted when he left.
No, I don't know. Like, last time I heard, he dated this girl after me, and like, I don't know, the last time she had contact with him was her bailing him out of jail with like a couple of grand or something, and then he just disappeared.
Spirit in the mountain now.
And I live in North Carolina.
Oh, okay. All right, that's what maybe.
I don't agree for it.
You get tried with the anything.
Yeah, it's all bad.
That is too.
All bad.
Yeah.
No offense, Grease, bro.
Like
Dang, all the offense.
Oh yeah, sorry, the burlesque scene.
Oh, right.
I was in what we've been talking about. I'm crying.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I just got really into it in North Carolina, but I did realize too that I needed to like take a break at some point from being in a troupe. And yeah, that whole transition.
Was it a little bit too hectic for you, like at that age, or like just like being like a troupe at the whole older?
Well, when I start, maybe, I don't know, at some point when I was performing in those 2 years, like, I was living out of my car.
Yeah.
By choice.
Yeah.
I just like say that.
Yeah, right.
I'm the fucking asshole. And, like, I just wanted to do the live out of your car and travel for a while thing, which is kind of what I did.
Yeah.
But then, like, I got to a point, and I would, like, back home and staying on, like, friends' couches all the time, and it was not cute. And I was just like, okay, I need to, like, get my shit together, and I need to get a house or apartment
or whatever,
Right.
and like find a more stable
like,
job.
sure.
And so then that's when I kind of was like, okay, I need to focus on this. So took a back seat up until I moved here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How would you say like
are the scenes different from like Pittsburgh to North Carolina? Like, or I mean, is it pretty much kind of
similar across the board or?
It's similar.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. Similar. Sorry, I know my face just did some things, so
I love it, yo. You're funny as hell.
I'm like sitting here like, don't say shit. Stop. Just,
Yo, speak freely, speak comfortably.
No,
if you
no, not always.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I was gonna say like, share whatever you feel like you want to.
yeah. That's
Some words.
Okay, word. Right.
And Molly and I have had this conversation of like, we both feel that like the scene in general, like universally, like it's just not what it used to be for either of us. And like,
just from like an interest standpoint, like from the scene specifically, that's just like
Well, for one, it's like two things. I think it's just like any scene you're in, like inevitably there's just like fucking nonsense drama, which you just get tired of. You're like, I just want to be Switzerland.
Yeah.
And that was always my goal in the scene.
Right.
Like, for fucking real. Like, I personally super went out of my way to be Switzerland.
Super neutral. Like,
yes. I didn't want anyone to hate me.
Right.
I didn't want anyone like talking shit
behind my back. It just seems so unnecessary and like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But girls be catty. There's no way around that.
Right.
But, and then also, I think it just like kind of plateaued. Like after so many years. And
I've been really, really, really lucky to be able to travel a whole bunch and perform and see burlesque in different parts of the world.
Right.
And I'm spoiled.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really spoiled when it comes to seeing it.
Yeah.
At this point.
Where has burlesque taken you?
The first place it took me was to London.
Dope.
I went to compete at the World Burlesque Games.
Okay.
I didn't fucking win. I wasn't going there to win.
Right.
Honestly, I was just so excited to be asked to go that I was in Toronto first at like the semifinals, and then I moved on to the finals in London.
Wow.
So I was just like, cool.
Did you have to come up with like a performance for each thing? Or like...
No, I mean, it was just the same act.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And then just judge you pretty much just like based on what needed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. And God, it's like, I totally forget I even did this act because it feels so long ago, but it was my bubble act that was inspired by a much older performer, Sally Rand. She had like a life-size like balloon bubble that she would perform with.
Yeah.
And mine was like half the size of that. But it's very like all in white and like blue lighting and like just kind of playing with this object and dancing around it.
Yeah.
It has the most classic shit I've ever done.
Word.
Because I'm not typically a classic performer.
Yeah.
But I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And people really liked it, obviously. So,
I mean, you got to put finals like.
Yeah. So let me see. Oh yeah, of course. Like the best. Berlin.
Okay. Yeah.
The fucking best.
Yeah. Like I mean, that's
Period.
like the godfather of the scene, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah. And talk about like, I remember
going there by myself.
And I had been hooked up with another performer whip there. Her name was Bama Banana.
Okay.
And she's so fucking wild. So fucking wild. Anyway, but I was lucky enough to be able to like stay in her flat. And I performed in her show and did a couple photo shoots while I was there. And it was just like the most wild time of my life. Again, like talking about being in a fever dream.
Yeah.
Like I didn't want to sleep, which isn't like me because I was asleep.
Yeah, right. So that's how you know that
Yeah.
she was
I felt like it was just always going on all the time, and there was something like new to see.
Yeah.
And the performance style there is just so fucking different. And
It's like, yeah.
I love it. Like I love
Is
it.
it the more uninhibited, would you say?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. And just weird, man.
Yeah.
Like super weird. And yeah. But that was definitely like my favorite experience.
How long ago got there when you were initially out there?
So that was one trip, London and Berlin.
Okay.
So it was 10 days total, and I split my time between the two.
So 5 each.
I think.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah,
But there's like travel days too, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
And then like getting walks a lot too. Especially in London.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
And thankfully they had more than decent public transportation system.
True.
Yeah.
But I've also never been more lost in my life.
Yeah, I mean, like if it's your first time out there, like
You know, that could be overwhelming.
And like I
anyway.
liked London and all, but it's a good time.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I have a lot of fond memories. Don't
Yeah.
get me wrong, but Berlin, whew, how do you compare?
It was like that was just like kind of where it you know
Mhm.
peaked for you. Like,
Mhm.
nah, shout out to
like was it just like as far as what goes into on performance, like how you get ready mentally,
physically, like what is a typical
performance? What do you like? You know, like read enough, how do you prep?
It's definitely like an all day preparation, for sure. Because
I have to get into showgirl mode
like right.
and showgirl hair and face and have all of my costume pieces and my props and my music and after clothes, in between clothes,
Yeah.
beforehand. Like there's just so many little elements that have to be perfect.
Yeah, it's for real.
Like perfect. For you to execute whatever act it is that you're doing. And I can't help myself, and I'm a prop queen for sure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I like big props. I do.
Yeah, worse. So when you say
The just kind of like the showgirl presentation, because like obviously like that's a big part of it. Like, what do you think makes a good showgirl? Like, is it just always kind of presenting, showing that smile, showing that?
No, not always, because
Okay.
there's so many different types of performers. It just kind of depends on like what kind of performer you
Trying
are
to do,
or
yeah.
what kind of performance you're doing that day,
Yeah.
you know?
Do you find like you use props more than other people? Do you find like you use props more than other people do?
I mean, no, I wouldn't say that.
Okay, word. All right.
Uh-uh.
All right.
No, I wouldn't say that. I've made choices. Like, for instance, I went on tour.
I made choices. This was the one that really was so annoying.
I toured with this, what I called my champagne act.
Okay.
And I fucking toured with this 6-foot inflatable champagne bottle.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, cool and all, but like, no, because you have to go to the van and use the air pump in the van
Yeah, right.
and fucking wait for it to.
Yeah, right.
And then it was even worse when it was time to deflate it.
Oh
It took
my God.
forever.
And the like showgirl.
Like, we all take turns sitting on it
Yeah.
to try to get the air out. Like, it sucked.
Yeah.
But I loved it.
That's
I
hilarious.
love champagne.
I mean, just even on the subject, like you have a very or like a more well known performance as a washing machine.
Yes.
I think that's probably like your.
Signature,
Would you say that like
if you
like your
will.
signature?
you know,
It's the work you will ask for.
yeah, for sure. Like how
That come about? Like, how did that end up being your signature performance? Was it something like you thought was going to be a one off and it just ended up sticking? And like people were like, we need to see that again.
I don't know if I created it with like the intention of it being a one-off or not.
Yeah, right.
I just know that when I first created the washing machine costume, I was at my wit's end with it. I was like, how hard can this be? I'm like, oh yeah, it's really hard actually. And I remember I got so frustrated with it in the beginning that I had to put it in the basement for like a month or two.
Just like it wasn't coming together like before. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was just getting so frustrated with it. And then like I was like, okay, I have this show. I'm gonna try to get it for the show. And I was able to make it happen. I've since like had it remade and now it's collapsible.
Okay.
I had somebody else make it for me because I was like, fuck that. So I can actually just like break it down and make it flat instead of carrying around this like life-size box.
So
Life-size box.
David, I want to thank you for sitting down and again just kicking it, child out to this walking this through
your career. This is just the point of the pod again, where if you have anything coming up, any shows, any places you're going to be at that you want to let people know, this is the time to do it. Floor is yours. If you want people to find you on social media, you can plug that as well. But
J Doe, it was good talking. I think they're coming out.
Absolutely.
Like that, yeah, but
I know, like, I'm just kind of fucking chilling. Like, I really don't have anything to plug except for the fact that, like, I have an absurd amount of fucking weird stories. And I bartend every Friday and Saturday at Rutgers Pub from 12 to 6.
Hell yeah.
I'm a good fucking time. I'm
I
a
agree.
good bartender.
Agreed.
I will make you laugh.
Agreed. All three. And this is,
Stupid.
I could definitely vouch for that.
and we'll have to get a part 2 for sure. We'll definitely have to get a part 2, get some more stories out of you. Yeah, this could be a 4-hour joint, right?
Somebody literally told me last weekend. I told them one of my stories. What my favorite story from being a pro dom for a hot minute.
Yeah.
And they were just like, have you ever thought about like going to the public library and just recording some of your stories? I'm like, no. No, I haven't.
Right.
Apparently that's a thing.
Yeah, yeah, maybe. Yeah. It hasn't hit my algorithm yet, you know what I'm saying? Yo, FIC Podcast by episode 159. We got just Jingles in the building, man. And we're out, bro. Peace.